All right, I have 101 on my time, so I'm going to kick this off. We only have 30 minutes together. Thank you all for joining. This is our second DealMAX first time attendee meeting. The intent of this meeting is to give you all a chance to hear from one another what the questions you have burning in your minds as we lead into DealMAX, asking some of your colleagues what their experience was last year, asking the ACG events team if you have specific logistical questions. And we're hoping that you all walk away from this feeling a little bit more prepared to join us on site at DealMAX at the end of the month. So again, thank you all for joining. I have a few special guests that are joining us today that were first time attendees last year. We've had a chance to connect on their experience last year, and they have some great information to share with you today. So I am going to start the meeting by just asking each of them to share a little bit about their experience last year and provide some information for you as you prepare to be a first-time attendee this year. So Tom, I see you in the center of my screen and I see you're unmuted. So I'm going to start with you if you don't mind.
Wait a minute. Carolyn needs to unmute her screen too. Carolyn, good to see you again. So, and nice to see everyone here. The turnouts for these are amazing. So good to see you, everyone. Super glad that ACG is doing this. Caroline and I did not have the opportunity to attend this last year. So it's a privilege to be here and help all of you out with the do's and the don'ts. Dr. Sean Saunders, good to see you again. This is not your first time.
Well, it's my bald friend's first time, so I figured
Oh,
I
okay.
would try and
All
be a
right.
Sherpa. I'm like, how the hell did you get in this thing?
Well, last year, as you
I
know,
thought
I,
they
I,
kicked
I
you
was
out
there at the
last year.
show with you, Sean, right? I was there at the show with you. So I'm the head of sales at an energy efficiency firm called Lumen Global. I'm located in Denver for all of you that are nearby me. Hello. Um, a few key things for me. Last year was our first year. Didn't know what to expect. Prior to that, I had been to the Capitol Connect in Denver. That's the only ACG exposure that I had. And we sell into PE-backed industrials. So we go in through private equity, lower middle market, whales as well. Sometimes you go in through the holding companies, but for purposes of this call, this is our target market here. So last year was our first year, did not know what to expect. Sean, I'm super glad you're on the phone because you're part of my story that I told the first time. I showed up on Sunday prior to the official kickoff of the event, got checked in, got registered. That's write that down. Try to register on Sunday because on Monday there is a very long line and you don't want to be standing in that line. Okay. So pick up your credentials on Sunday if you can. I then went out to the pool to get some sunshine and have a cold beer, and my phone starts to buzz. And Sean Saunders on the phone here, I don't know where he is on your screen. He says, Tom, get over here to the bar. There's some people I want you to meet. And the next 96 hours began at that time. So it was nonstop, even before the day began. Meeting people, getting introduced, introducing other people to my network as well. That was day one. Day two was quite overwhelming. Hit the gym first thing in the morning at the hotel, which is very, very nice. You'll find that is packed. So get there early if you can. And there are people everywhere, everywhere. I mean, there's people on the elevator, people on the main floor, people on the escalator. And what I found that's different than the Capitol Connect that I went to in Denver is everyone is there for a purpose. And Kate heard this before, but everyone is there for a purpose. And that purpose is to network, get to know what's out there, get to know what you do. You need to prepare. Preparation is key. I'm sure you're already trying to schedule meetings, get on people's calendars. Find those companies and people that you want to talk to. And by people, I mean that there's a lot of PE representatives there that are looking to make deals. depending upon your role in your company and looking at what you're trying to achieve, just make sure what your organization, your representation there lines up to the title and why the target people and companies you're there to meet with, those line up because they have a job to do too. So whatever those roles are, so prepare, 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 really understand those companies and people that you want to get in front of so you can have a meaningful, quantifiable conversation with them. Since it was our first time and we, at least last year, we didn't market. We're starting to market more. I personally struggle to get appointments. So if you find that, don't be entirely discouraged. I did get a few. This year we'll get more. So stay in the game. And as we continue our marketing rollout, we will have more. After hours events. I didn't know anything about that when I got there. I thought after hours events was for the cool kids, and apparently I wasn't part of the cool kids group. If you hear about an after hours event, I got more done at the after hours event than I did at the show the first day, at least. So that's where a lot of networking occurs, a lot of information sharing occurs, a lot of generating awareness occurs. So if you get invited to after hours event, and Sean, for you on the call, Sean Saunders and I went to 6 events on the last night. 6 events. It was fantastic. So definitely try and hang out with the cool kids and get invited to those after hour events. And then the last thing before I turn it over to Caroline is wear comfortable shoes. You're not there to make a fashion statement for sure, and you're probably going to walk about 25 miles. So wear comfortable shoes. I'll pause there to see if there's any questions. Nobody.
How do you get invited to the after hours events? How do you find out about them?
Just people that you meet, to be quite frank. People that you meet. Sean, is there anything that you want to add? I know you're not part of this leadership board, but is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's just you'll find that the invitations just kind of come very organically.
Yeah.
As you're having you might have a 20-minute meeting scheduled and they really like what you have to say, and you go to one event, next thing you know, people are pulling you around to all the different events, and I think Tom hit the nail on the head. Is make yourself available. It's kind of is everyone's out there to for a reason or for a purpose. But if you make yourself available and you're super authentic, people are going to start bringing you to all these different groups, and it is amazing. Just the number of connections and the level of connection I think that we made across the nights that we all went to these different events was really remarkable. And I would say that's where a lot of the value for us really came from this past year.
Yeah. The first event that I got invited to was, for me at least, I talked with people at the gym. I talked with them in the elevator. I talked with them on the escalator. There's a beautiful buffet of food out there. I made it a point for me to sit down with somebody I didn't know, and then to look at their name tag and like, oh, wow, I definitely want to talk to you. And here's why. I knew all about their company, their employees, their mission. Make it a point to not hang out with the people that you know. Go sit down and talk to people and approach them. And people are very friendly. Do not be afraid. If you're shy, you need to get over yourself and get in front of folks.
Thank you, Tom. That was my big takeaway when you and I connected a few weeks ago, and you said it feels like you're the only one that doesn't know anyone, and that is just not true. There's a lot of people there that are first-time attendees, and everyone is going for the networking. So if you're the person that breaks the ice, that's great. Caroline, I'm going to turn it over to you for an intro, and then I have one more intro after, and then we'll take some more Q&A from the audience.
Of course. Thank you so much. And Tom, thank you for pretty much highlighting everything that's really important. I'm Caroline Waddington. I work for a company called ZRG Partners. We're a talent advisory firm. So advisors, as a lot of people, I'm sure, in this call. PE firms are pretty much the target for a lot of different people. So coming prepared is number one, because you do not want to speak to people you shouldn't be talking to, because it's a waste of time for them and for you. But realistically, everyone will shake hands and have that 2-minute conversation to figure out very quickly if you should be talking more. So preparing in advance is always like the key. The beauty of ACG DealMAX is that you have I don't even know what the number is right now, 3,500 people list. So coming prepared, looking into it, getting to know the people as much as possible, the key people you want to be meeting with. You might not get a meeting right away, but the moment you shake hand and you see their name, if you just tell them, hey, I've done my homework, here's everything I know that you do, and here's why we should talk. It might not happen on the spot, but everyone has time that are not booked yet. And the amount of meetings that I've booked like this on an impromptu basis last year are amazing. Last year, I genuinely ended up closing business at the end of DealMAX, and those relationships that I've built during those 2 days, end up lasting. I was just on the phone with someone I literally met for the first time at DealMAX last year, and we're just talking about business today still. So make sure that you get to meet with as many people as possible. And as Tom said, don't be shy. If you put a hand in front of anyone and say, hi, I'm Caroline, everyone is going to shake your hand and you're going to have that conversation. So just don't hesitate. My key takeaway from last year was really, it's going to be a long weekend, like a long Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I tend to lose my voice every single time that I go to conferences. This one, I lost my voice sooner, which doesn't help in networking. But be prepared to not sleep a lot, because it starts early and it ends late. And really during the day is very important, because that's the moment where you can actually meet with a lot of people that are in and out, and you have all the booths that you can go and see. The amount of people the amount of time when I went to a booth and I ended up shaking hand and realizing that the person at that booth is not part of this company, but they were still a good target for me. It was insane. So don't hesitate to shake everyone's hand and just introduce yourself. Be ready with a short pitch, because the majority of the meetings are 15 minutes. Someone asked in our previous session, how long should the meetings be? I recommend 15 minutes and then continue the conversation after DealMAX. But everyone's aim and everyone's goal is to meet as many people as possible and continue the longer conversation and the deal closing afterwards. Tom, would you agree on that?
I would agree on everything that you said.
I love you for that.
Well done. Well done.
But yeah, so realistically, starting on Sunday is key. I mean, Tom highlighted it. If you haven't booked your flight yet, just make sure that you change it to Sunday, just for registration, but also because a lot of things happen at that moment, and like pretty much half of the population was already there on the Sunday. So your target population is going to be there, and the people are going to be everywhere. The beauty is that there is also a Starbucks that is reserved for DealMAX right at the entrance. So you can organize meetings over there. You can actually meet with people there. It's pretty convenient. You will never have an issue locating yourself. Things can be spread out. So if you have 15 minutes back to back meetings, just make sure you're in the right area. Because if you have a meeting in one area, it could take you 5 minutes to go to the next one.
Great. Two more things to add that I found. A lot of people that you may try and meet with may only be there one day. So try and front load your schedule as much as you can. So day one is huge. Day two might be a little less. And then day three is even less than that. People have a lot to do. They come in, long day, and they're out. And the other kind of fun note that I would add as well is some people take meetings by the poolside. So we just last month signed a partner that took a meeting with me poolside, and I went to their cabana, and I had a lull in the number of meetings I had, and I sat there, and all these CFOs, COOs, CEOs came through their tent, and I got to meet them all just by hanging out for a little while. And now they're great friends and a partner.
Thank you, Tom. And thank you so much, Caroline, for your overview. I have one more introduction to make, and then we'll open it up to audience questions. Stephen, would you like to give a quick intro?
Sure. Hi, Steve Hoffman with Venture Employer Solutions out of the Boston area. I did go last year, and the two previous people, Tom and I'm sorry, I forget your name. You guys gave a lot of great information, so it's always hard to add more after all that. But I will do my best. I love this conference because it's all about the one-on-ones and the connections that you make. And I went last year with 33 meetings on the calendar going in. And so I'm aiming to beat that this time. So some things that I might repeat what Tom and others have already said, but you want to make sure you want to get there the day before. And if you can, sneak into the conference hall just to see where everything is. Because if you're back-to-back meetings like I was last year and I intend to be this year, and you have meetings in different sections, you want to know where everything is because you have maybe 5 minutes to get from meeting to meeting. And then if you can, stay at the hotel, because if you're staying at another hotel, it's a long walk in between. A lot of the stuff is probably good to do for any conference you go to. Behave yourself at night. Don't drink too much because you will hate yourself the next day. There's so many people to meet and so many opportunities. And if you do want to have a good time, save it for the last night that you're there. One thing I didn't have last year that a lot of people did have was this Plod recorder or something similar to that. If you're having that many meetings, it's an awful lot to keep track of all those notes. So naturally, you want to ask the person if you can record it because that's really what's required. But I'm going in there this year with that AI recorder to summarize all my notes so I can have a good plan of action after that. Try and look at their profiles on LinkedIn so you see what they actually look like, because a lot of them you've never seen for the first time. And so as you're trying to meet in a certain section, you're almost like, well, what are you wearing? And so you have to define that. Let's see here. Get your professional headshot there. I do that. I try to do that really at any conference, but that is my LinkedIn profile. I've got a nice headshot, and of course, I talk to people online everywhere I am. I make friends that way. And so it's not just about the one-on-one meetings you get. And in terms of getting invites to these meetings or the after hours party, talk to the people in your own ones. You going to any parties tonight? Can I tag along? Go to the exhibits. Most of them are hosting or know what's happening, and they'll tell you what's going on. In terms of stuff that you want to bring, obviously you want to bring business cards if you can. If not, take advantage of the QR code on your LinkedIn app. Last year, I brought a brochure. I'm actually working for a different organization now, but what I brought was like this size. What I used to call it a Slim Jim is what the old terminology for this. Double-sided, has a QR code on there, fits right inside your coat pocket. It's very simple. So if you are talking to somebody and you're doing your one-on-one presentations, like, hey, this is what we do. ... I'm coming in here. I don't work for a private equity firm. We do employer solutions, global payroll, domestic payroll, PEO, and all that stuff. So I'm looking to support the transactions that take place for M&A. So I'm looking for everything from a partnership support standpoint. And so I can talk to them and say, hey, these are all the things that we do. And it's a la carte, whatever you want. And so this is a nice takeaway that I can give to anybody. I think that's kind of it. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. More words of Forrest Gump. And if you have a meeting request from me, please accept it.
Yes, please accept Steve's meeting request. He's looking for a full schedule this year. Steve, I believe it may have been you that had mentioned on a prior call, and you alluded to it. Try to familiarize yourself with the space at DealMAX as much as you can. There is a map available on dealmax.org. You're going to start to see more maps on that venue and maps page fill out as we put our deal table map, our dedicated tables map, our cabana maps. There are a lot of spaces to navigate. Our team's job is to try to make that task as simple as possible for you. But the more familiar you are with the maps and the space itself, the easier you will find moving from one meeting to another. Cabanas, we have a special pathway to the cabana. So that walk is a little bit longer than if you're navigating from one spot in the lounge to the next. So just make sure you're scheduling your meetings and leaving enough time to move from one space to another. We have just about 10 minutes left, and I'm guessing we have at least a few questions from the audience. If anyone would like to begin.
If you don't mind, I'll start, Kate, because I missed our call the other day. Anyway, so I am planning on coming in on Sunday, and a couple of folks have said that, the attendance kind of dwindles as the days go by, right? When should I leave? I mean, I think I booked my hotel until Thursday morning, but are people still there kind of on Wednesday and throughout the day, or would it make sense for me to kind of jet out to a red eye on Wednesday night?
So the lounge closes at 11 a.m. on Wednesday. It is much quieter on Wednesday. However, there are 3,500 people coming to this conference. Many of them you will want to meet with. So I would probably advise seeing if you can schedule some meetings for Wednesday. I think that that's what happens often is that people will stay if they have meetings.
Okay.
The Aria is a beautiful property. You're not going to be bored. You're not going to go hungry if you do stay until Thursday, but the lounge will be closed. The exhibitors will be packing up and shipping their stuff out on around lunchtime. So typically the cadence of travel is coming in Sunday and leaving Wednesday.
Thank you.
That helps answer because I got a red
Hi.
eye.
This is Todd Duncan. I have a question, and it's also in the chat regarding the suggested dress code. Business casual, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I would say business casual. You're going to see a lot of sneakers with, dress pants and polo shirts, button-down shirts, not a lot of suits and ties, especially if you have meetings at the cabana. It's a little soon to check the forecast, but we're later in April this year, so it could be hot out at the cabanas. Someone had a suggestion to wear something somewhat recognizable. There's a lot of people at this conference. They all tend to dress the same. So if you're trying to find someone that you have a meeting with, it can be helpful if you wear a different color shirt. I think someone on this call had mentioned like maybe putting a different color pocket square in your suit jacket, something to distinguish your outfit from others around you could be helpful.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Kate. This is Carlos here. How are you?
I'm great.
I wanted to ask you a question. We've scheduled a lot of meetings, but there are some meetings that we haven't even got a response from them. What do you recommend in those cases?
So I would check your outgoing message and make sure it's super curated to that individual. We do have some attendees that literally have hundreds of meeting requests. As you can tell from those that are in ACG Access, it is the recipient of the meeting request that confirms the location and the time. There are a lot of requests that will remain unanswered for a couple weeks while people wait to fill their schedule to see if there's a priority meeting that comes in their inbox. There is a new feature in ACG Access this year where you can filter your received requests. And so if you have a bunch of unresponded to requests, you can filter by individual type. As you start to get closer to the conference, more meetings will be confirmed. ACG Access will remain open for 30 days after the event. So I would say continue to do your research, continue to be specific in how you're reaching out to individuals. And then use the time post-conference to still connect with people that you may not have had a chance to meet on site.
Kate, do you recommend, let's say we book it on the ACG platform, but do you recommend for us to book it there and send them to their Outlook or like their email? Do you recommend that?
Yep. So I would say use ACG Access. That is updating live with your availability and the individual who you're trying to schedule a meeting with, their availability. You will all be able to download your meeting calendars to Outlook. You also will have access to our DealMAX mobile app. That's going to be launching in another couple weeks, and that will allow you to engage with people on the ACG Access platform. If something needs to be changed while you're on site, then it will be updated live. You can communicate with individuals on the platform. Their cell phone numbers are available right in there if you need to call and contact someone on site.
And if I can jump in, last year I had a ton of people I invited who didn't even respond back or connect, but they still see your invitation. So once you're on site, if they're really key targets for you, just make sure you track them, because you're going to know who they are, where they should be, and if not, just ping them even in the morning at 7 a.m. saying, hey, I'm in this area, can we meet? It worked for me last year very well.
Thank you. Really good advice. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What else?
Thanks.
We have time for another couple.
It's Mike Madden with a new private equity fund, permanent equity fund. So this is our first conference, and I guess we started trying to book meetings last week, and we have 2 or 3 members going. We've only gotten 2 responses back, so we're definitely concerned that we're going out. We have a team of 4. With 3 or 4 weeks left. It seems like a lot of time, but given I'm looking at their schedules, it looks like a lot of them are booked. Is it possible that we'll book very few meetings at this point, even though we have 4 weeks left, or are we late to the party is what I'm really asking you?
Well, I'll answer, and then I may have Tom, Caroline, and Steve jump in as well from like a real attendee perspective. But I see two paths of success at DealMAX, and you're likely going to experience a little of both. One is the pre-confirmed meetings where you're building these meetings in on ACG Access, and you're scheduling them. That's a path, and people have a lot of success doing that. You still have time, as someone else mentioned, like there are a lot of outstanding meeting requests that will start to get confirmed as we get closer to the event. The other aspect of DealMAX is we do build a lot of organic networking opportunities into the conference with networking meals, open meeting times, open meeting zones, our opening party. There are a lot of opportunities to experience that organic networking. So I wouldn't say all hope is lost. I mean, the whole concept of one-to-one meeting scheduling is relatively new in the landscape of the M&A meeting spectrum. Tom, I see you have some comments as well.
Yeah, I'd sum it up in one word: call. Call. The feedback that I got last year was, oh my God, I got so many invites. I get 250 emails a day. It's super nice to meet you. I wish people would just call more. So just pick up the phone and call.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're definitely concerned about the money that we just committed. We've got the table and all that. We've got 14 members going, and it's been a week and a half. We've booked 2 meetings out of 50, so it's definitely concerning.
Yeah, you're new, you're unknown, just like we were too. So pick up the phone and call, and they'll thank you for the phone call.
All right, thank you.
I think we have time for one more question.
I'll just say, in terms of getting these meetings, sometimes I reach out to people that I know at the company. I'm like, hey, can you just let so-and-so know that I'm trying to get a meeting with them? And they'll, if they like you, they'll help you out. And but no, I've landed 14 meetings at this point. Again, I'm hoping. I like to go. My mental minimum is 25. So that's what I'm aiming for. We got 3 weeks left, so I think I can handle it.
Yeah, and I've got some live stats to assuage the concerns here. So we are at about 50% of our confirmed meetings right now compared to where we were last year. We have literally tens of thousands of outstanding meeting requests, and more are being confirmed as we go. But about 3 weeks out is when we hit the 50% mark for confirmed meetings. So lots of time here still to go. It's April 2nd. People are going to start to show up on site in just over 3 weeks. We are recording this session. We will do our best to get this wrapped up and up. We will share it on YouTube. I'll put a link in our LinkedIn group. For those of you that have not joined the LinkedIn group, we can make sure you're on that group. If anyone has any outstanding questions today, between now and the meeting, events@acg.org is the best place to send those. Please find us on site. Also, we really want to hear your feedback, big, small, good, bad. Our goal is to make DealMAX better every year. We're super, super excited to welcome you all this year. Hope you have a great experience, and we're here to support you as you prepare over these next few weeks. Thank
Nice to meet you
you
all
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Kate.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
everyone. Bye.
care, everyone.